Okay, who you need to recruit. That is the topic of today. This is something somebody should have actually sat down and showed you. If they haven't, somebody's about to. So my name is Jeff Gamble. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a traditional business owner, have a real estate company, also have a massage practice, been a network marketer, and currently a John C. Maxwell speaker, trainer, and coach. And today's subject, we're going to talk about who you need to recruit, and specifically what 80% of your team needs to basically be about. And this is not necessarily my rules. I've learned from some of the best in the industry. This is actually what they taught me through seminars and through books and through audios. So let's get into this. The first thing is before you target this group of people and go after them, you need to learn to contact, learn to invite, learn to present, learn to close, learn third party, and learn events. Those are the basics. That's what you need to know. But when it comes to actually putting your team together, this is what you want to target. 80% of your team, this is who you need to target. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give each one of these things, I'm going to give you a description of why each one of these things based on what I was told, and it pretty much has lived up to exactly what I was taught. The first thing is 80% of your team, you want to be between the ages of 25 and 65. Now, does that mean you can't sponsor an 18-year-old who's really ambitious? No. Does that mean you can't have a 75-year-old that has it all together and is looking for their second, third career? No. You can sponsor both of those people. You just want to target about 80%. Now, the reason I was told you basically want that target, audience of 25 to 65 is at a certain point, when people get older, and I'm older, I might not dress older right now, but I'm older. You get to a certain point where a lot of people start talking about downsizing. A lot of people start selling everything. A lot of people are, well, the kids have moved and everybody's moved on and I just got to get rid of stuff and I'm not interested in having stuff and I'm not interested in going anywhere and I just want to rest and I just want to relax. That shit is not exciting. That's not going to sponsor a lot of people. So, there's just a certain, you're looking for people who are excited, who want to do something. And right now, the baby boomer generation, there's more people in that generation who want to do something and want to get involved in something than ever. So, 65, 70 is a great target market right now. But in the past, it hasn't been. You just kind of have to judge. Is this somebody who wants to, keep living? And make things happen, or is this somebody who's done? They're like, look, I worked my whole life, I want to retire, I just want to slow down. And here, you don't want people falling asleep in your meetings, and you don't want to have to wake them up and say, hey, you're at somebody else's house, and tell them to go home. I mean, that's not cool. And it's not going to sponsor a lot of people. So the other thing is before 25, before 20, most people, they graduate high school and their ultimate goal is to have fun and party and, get out of the house and get away from their parents or whatever they're trying to do. And they end up going to college and, they destroy themselves, all weekend and try to study throughout the week. And, what they're hoping to is eventually get to a point where they graduate and they can't figure out what they want to do, and they figure out what they want to do and they graduate. And then they party harder because now they have money from their job and they're paying off student loans, and eventually the partying doesn't seem to be as cool, and they're like, oh wow, this is real life, I have to pay for stuff and things are expensive and going out to eat is like costing me money and I'm not saving anything. And that 25 to 27, that starts kind of sinking in a little bit with some people. Not everybody. I have friends that are 37, I have friends that are 47, I have friends that are 57 that still haven't figured that out. But eventually you usually have come to that conclusion. You're like, oh, I should do something here. Start putting money away. And it'll bring the energy, 25, 65, any background, from anywhere. It doesn't matter what part of the world they're from, what neighborhood they're from, what school system they're from. That's just kind of an age group. Second thing is they have a job or a career. And people are like, well, why do they have to, this would be a great job for them. No, it wouldn't. Because if you look at statistically, about 85%, almost 90% of everybody in network marketing is part-time. Almost everybody in network marketing is part-time. There's very few people that are full-time considering working more than 30 hours a week. And it's very hard to launch a business and get it off the ground when you have no income. Now, if you're retired and you get a retirement income, that's different. If you come from a wealthy family and just have a bunch of money, it'll probably be harder for you, I'll be real honest, because you're not working and people are like, well, of course you can do this because you have all the money in the world. It's actually very difficult to recruit people when you're looking at everybody as a dollar sign. When you look at the people on your team as dollar signs and you look at the people that they're bringing you as dollar signs, it's very difficult to recruit them. Why? Because you look desperate, because you are desperate, and unfortunately we don't get what we want, we get what we are. We all want those super motivated, independent people, but if we're not that person, that's not who you're going to attract. So you want them to have a job or career. Events cost money, products cost money, services cost money, leads cost money. Going out to, actually show this to people costs money. There's kits and programs and stuff that you want to be involved in, and there's specialty programs that you want to be involved in. Maybe you want to learn how to market online. Maybe you want to buy leads. Maybe you might want a course on cold recruiting or selling over the phone and books and different things. And not that books are a lot of money, but you got to have some money to do all this. I like personally sleeping indoors and eating, so that's why I decided to work. Maybe you might want to tell somebody about that's not working, and then once they're working and they realize that sucks too, then you say, hey, we have a better way. Number 3, transportation and communication. Does somebody have to have a car or vehicle? You can't say car, they might have a truck. Do they have to have a car to build this? No, but it makes it really hard to do it, because if that person doesn't have a car and that person's getting a ride and then that person wants to go show it to somebody and the two people have to get a ride to get somewhere, you're trying to build momentum into events, and you can't build any momentum if your ass is having to drive around and pick everybody up. Communication. Somebody's like, oh, I don't have a phone. I used to have a phone. If you don't have a phone today, just go get a job. I don't even know what to say. We're going to move on. You're looking for people that are married. Do they have to be married? No. But here's the reason behind the whole marriage thing. Married or with a significant other, I would say. Now, married and with a significant other is the reasoning behind it is because then you have more than yourself to take care of. That's the purpose behind it. It doesn't matter who they're seeing. It's just they have somebody else to take care of. So they're like, you know what? Myself and my significant, we want to get ahead in life. I want to do something nice for them. I want to help them out too. They might have a shitty job and you might want to help them out of it. So that would be a good thing to find people who are married or have a significant other that are committed to some kind of relationship. That'd be nice, because I've just found, and my mentors told me this, those people tend to work a little bit better. They tend to, get along with more people. Kids, same reason. If they have kids, whether theirs adopted, neighborhood kids, whoever they're watching, again, responsibility, somebody more to look after. A house has responsibility. Houses are sometimes a pain in the ass. There's things that break, and people tend to want more money when they have more responsibility and more stuff. They're dissatisfied in life. They want more. They're tired of making $25,000 to $75,000 or whatever they're making. $75,000 seems like a lot of money to some people, but not if you live in California, especially Southern California. Not if you live in New York. Not if you live in South Florida. $75,000 is not a lot of money in a lot of places in the United States that are bigger cities that have things going on. $25,000 is not a lot of money. Some people, that's just rent. $25,000 a year in rent in certain areas. So you just have to kind of look. 25 to 75. They want to move up. They want to get to 6 figures. They want to get multiple 6 figures. I don't know. They're just dissatisfied with where they're at, and they're ambitious and want more. If you find people who are ambitious and want more, they're willing to learn, they're willing to grow, that's really who you're looking for. So how do you find them? Well, the first thing is you have to complete the list yourself, because if you don't have a job or transportation or any of this stuff, it's going to be really hard for you to attract that person, because I found that people without cars don't like people without cars. It's just harder to get along, People who don't have a phone, it's harder to call them. People who don't have a place to live, it's harder to get a hold of. I'm not saying they can't do it, because I've met people. There's always those few neat people in network marketing. They're like, I slept under a bridge, I didn't have a phone, I met people on the bus and the train and whatever, and I sponsored 80,000 people, and now I'm a millionaire on stage. That's great. There's one guy that's done that, but what about his team? His team is not made out of people underneath the bridge. They're usually people who are working that fit this list. So the first thing is you have to fit the list, and when you fit the list, it's really cool that you will start attracting the people that you are. So look for who you are. And if you're like, well, I can't get anybody who's motivated, then you need to get motivated. Well, I can't get anybody who's excited, then get excited. Well, I can't find anybody that has any money. Well, then save some money. That's just what you have to do. So what I'd like to know is what your thoughts on this are. Look over your team. Does your team fit this description? Do you have a team? First of all, you have to look at yourself and then look at the people that you've recruited. Doesn't make sense. Go ahead and share this with somebody who needs it. If you need it, maybe watch it again. Like this video, and if you want to know more about prospecting, recruiting, and building teams, check out Work with Jeff Gamble. That is my Facebook page, Work with Jeff Gamble. Like that, and you'll get more videos like this. Thanks everybody for watching.